All Christians are called to share in God's mission to the world, and that's an exciting responsibility that we have, to see what God is doing, the way that He's building His kingdom, and to try and work with Him there. And you know, Baptists have a great tradition of having such a commitment to evangelism. They take the Great Commission seriously, to go into all the world and preach the gospel and make disciples. And European Baptists are part of that. And today it's still a joy, but it's also a challenge in many places. But I'm so encouraged as I travel around the EBF. I think of some of the most secular countries in Europe. For instance, in Estonia. In Estonia, in the city of Tartu, there is a wonderful youth church called 3D, where the young people themselves have taken the initiative to reach out to their friends with the gospel, and they've created this wonderful church which they run themselves, of course with some help from others in the union when they need it. But that 3D church is really speaking a lot about the gospel in that situation. And I think about the gospel in some of the difficult places. And I think about the country of Azerbaijan, where there are religious freedom problems. But in Azerbaijan, sorry, I've got a mosquito on here. I'm sorry. There was a mosquito on my nose. All right, I'll go back to the Azerbaijan thing. Can you stitch it together?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
1, 2, 3.
I think of some of the difficult places in the EBF, the country of Azerbaijan, for instance, where they have a lot of problems with religious freedom, and particularly the Azeri people in Azerbaijan are quite often experience pressure and persecution, and yet that community is really growing under God's grace. And it was great a few years ago to go and meet with some young people who are so committed to the gospel. And then, of course, we think of the Middle East and the gospel growing in difficult situations there. The way the Lebanese Baptists are reaching out to Syrian refugees, and some of those refugees are coming and saying, "Why are you doing this? Can we know more about this Jesus Christ that you believe in?" So these are just some of the ways in which I see God at work. Of course, there are other places where the way is hard, and often we feel the gospel's falling on very stony ground. But we need to encourage one another in the EBF, really to have this commitment to support and encourage one another in mission, to open ourselves to new ways of mission sometimes, not just the old ways, and to really sense, what is God doing among us today? How can we get involved? And then just be open to the future.
Well, right now, can you say your name and who you are? 1, 2, 3.
I'm Tony Peck. I've served for 10 years as the General Secretary of the European Baptist Federation.
Okay. Cesar Sotomayor from the Austrian Baptist Union. We are right now in the European Baptist Federation Mission Conference in Holland, and it has been amazing. The last 3-4 days I have been really motivated to see what God is doing, and to see what God is doing in different unions and different countries. And one of the things that touched my heart more of that, and I feel like God was talking to me, is to be more aware. The awareness to see with God's eyes what He's doing around, what He's doing in our church, in our community, in our city, and in our union. And I believe that when we start to be aware of what God is doing, we can react in ministry more efficiently, more powerful, and with more love, you know. I believe the Holy Spirit is talking to a lot of people like me and from different unions to see what God is doing, and to see that it's real, even when we don't see it every day, that even when we have all these challenges, even when we have all this darkness or hard times. But I want to motivate all the people from the other unions, for the European Baptist Federation, for this family to come for 2015, to come to the conference. I would love to see the people over there. One of the things that I want to share too is to see what God is doing in our union, the Baptist Union, with refugees, how they are coming to meet Jesus in the daily life. They are coming to meet Jesus, eating together with us. They are coming to meet Jesus when we are helping them in different ways. And I want to challenge our brothers and sisters in all the EBF to be aware of this situation, of the refugees, that they are coming with an open heart, Muslim background, a lot of Muslim people that need the love of us as a neighbors. Love your neighbor like yourself. Amen. You know, and that's something that's touching my heart really strong that I want to share. Yeah. God bless you guys.